This is the first look inside Robb Elementary during the Uvalde massacre. The still image comes from surveillance video reviewed by the Austin American-Statesman, but not confirmed by NBC News. It appears to show multiple officers armed with rifles and at least one ballistic shield in a hallway, 19 minutes after the gunman started shooting. That's according to the Statesman's review of materials.
Investigators really believe at this point, based on my understanding, that that was certainly enough firepower to try to take on the gunman.
So why did officers wait nearly another hour to storm the classroom?
Whether you have the equipment or not, you just go in, and that never happened here.
Separately, the Texas Tribune released a detailed timeline overnight based on video footage and investigative materials not confirmed by NBC News. According to that report, the shooter opened fire at officers closest to classrooms 111 and 112. Several minutes later, the Tribune reports School District Police Chief Pete Arredondo phoned into dispatch requesting more firepower. "We all have pistols," he said, according to a transcript reviewed by the Tribune, and this guy's got a rifle.
The question of why they were not directed to go in and who should have been giving that direction, I think those are questions that the investigators, state, federal, and local, are going to be focusing on for a long while.
Victims' families demanding accountability last night at a school board meeting in Uvalde, including the daughter of teacher Irma Garcia, who was killed, and Joe Garcia, who died of a heart attack days later.
I need you to know that the horrifying manner in which my mother was murdered and taken from us completely shattered our hearts, but made my dad's stop. The pain of losing the love of his life, his high school sweetheart, was too much for him to bear.
And you know, the tragedy of that, the unspeakable tragedy of that, and the unspeakable tragedy of parents who lost their babies, compounded now with questions of whether they could have survived, whether they could have been rescued if only police officers had gone in and followed normal protocols. That was, of course, NBC's Gabe Gutierrez with that report. Let's bring in right now the reporter for the Texas Tribune, Terry Langford. Terry, thank you so much for being with us. Let's talk about that timeline and that you put together and what stands out to you.
I think, you know, as my colleague Tony over at The Statesman also pointed out, within the first 19 minutes, they essentially had what they needed to go in. In fact, I would say, looking at the video just from the surveillance camera in the school, and there was one fisheye camera on that hallway, I would say within 10 minutes, they had more people and everybody at least had pistols, and there was at least one rifle. By this photo that you're putting up right now is 30 minutes after the shooter entered, and they already had shields, they already had guns, they had rifles, and this is just one end of the hallway. What I cannot see close up are the officers stationed at the other side.
So, Terry, you've been on this story since it occurred, since the day it occurred. In your opinion, across your reporting, what is the level, or is there a level of obstruction or reluctance to cooperate with the media in getting this story out from the police department in Uvalde?
I would say that this is to be fair, this is a small town, and it's been overwhelmed by the nation's media and the state media, but that shouldn't matter. We have not gotten a straight answer from the get-go from Uvalde officials. This is a horrific thing. I can't imagine any small town being able to rise and respond quick enough for the nation's media glare. That said, there are some basics that we still would like to know. I'd like to know what happens next. I'd like to know how many seconds, if it was seconds, the school and the teachers were alerted, how they were alerted, what was the safety plan. We can't see safety plans in Texas from schools. They are secret. But we have a lot of questions about this kind of response this many years after Columbine was kind of shocking to watch.
Really is shocking. Again, with us all through the years, knowing after Columbine and after each one of these attacks that police officers have been told, you go in, you take down the shooter, the active shooter first, and then you worry about everything else later. Can I ask, have you heard, I know after Parkland, there was actually a school safety officer who was charged on multiple counts for not going in when 17 children were killed there. Have there been any talks of charges against anyone in the force in Uvalde?
There is not. There has been very little discussion on that. There is the Uvalde County DA is actually in charge of, I think, the sort of investigation into the response. But we have no idea if that's just more of an administrative look or if it's going to result in criminal charges.
Texas Tribune reporter Terry Langford, thank you so much, and thank you for continuing to ask the questions.